Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 1, entitled The Questions by the Sages. And we are on text number 12. Okay. Please repeat after me. Sutta janasi badram te, Bhagavan Sattvatam-pati, Devakyam Vasudevasya, Jato yasya chikirshaya, Sutta janasi badram te, Bhagavan Sattvatam-pati, Devakyam Vasudevasya, Jato yasya chikirshaya. Someone chant Mara.
Sutta janasi badram te,
Sutta janasi badram te,
Sattvatam-pati,
Bhagavan Sattvatam-pati,
Devakyam Vasudevasya,
Devakyam Vasudevasya,
Yato yasya chikirshaya,
Jato yasya chikirshaya.
Sutta janasi badram te,
Sutta janasi badram te,
Bhagavan Sattvatam-pati,
Bhagavan Sattvatam-pati,
Devakyam Vasudevasya,
Devakyam Vasudevasya,
Yasya Shikirshaya,
Jato yasya chikirshaya. Sutta janasi badram te, Bhagavan Sattvatam-pati, Devakyam Vasudevasya, Jato yasya chikirshaya. Anyone else?
Sutta janasi badram te,
Sutta janasi badram te,
Bhagavan Sattvatam-pati,
Bhagavan Sattvatam-pati,
Devakyam Vasudevasya,
Devakyam Vasudevasya,
Jato yasya chikirshaya.
Jato yasya chikirshaya. Come on, someone else. Don't be afraid. It's good to chant these as you listen and then repeat. Prabhupada says this is pious. Punya Shravana Kirtana. To hear and then chant the verses. And Prabhupada encouraged the devotees to, before class, several men would chant and then he would ask the women to chant. So it's important. Try. By doing so, you learn how to chant the Sanskrit mantra. Because we don't have a Sanskrit class. But just by hearing and repeating, you learn how to do it. Okay? So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Well, first there's word for word synonym. Please repeat. Sutta.
Sutta.
O Sutta Goswami.
O Sutta Goswami.
Janasi, you know, Badram te, all blessings upon you.
All blessings upon
Bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
the personality of Godhead.
Sattvatam,
Sattvatam, of the pure devotees.
of the pure devotees.
Pati,
Pati,
the protector.
the protector.
Devakyam,
Devakyam,
in the womb of Devaki.
in the womb of Devaki.
Vasudevasya,
Vasudevasya,
by Vasudev.
by Vasudeva.
Jata,
Jata,
born of.
born of.
Yasya,
Yasya,
for the purpose of.
for the purpose of.
Chikirshaya,
Shaya,
executing.
executing.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat after me the translation. All blessings upon you,
All blessings upon you,
O Sutta Goswami.
O Sutta Goswami.
You know for what purpose
You know for what purpose
the personality of Godhead appeared
the personality of God appeared
in the womb of Devaki
in the womb of Devaki
as the son of Vasudeva.
as the son of Vasudeva.
Purport. Bhagavan means the Almighty God, who is the controller of all opulence, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. This is the meaning of Bhagavan. One who possesses all opulences in full is Bhagavan. There may be many other people who are powerful, famous, possessing beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, but no one can claim to possess all power, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and renunciation. Only person who can claim so is God. And Krishna showed when he was here 5,000 years ago. He showed his power. He was famous. Still today, 5,000 years later, we are hearing about Krishna. His knowledge, he spoke Bhagavad Gita. And still today, 5,000 years, intelligent people are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. Because there is so much knowledge in that one book. And renunciation is most renounced. There are examples of his renunciation. When he was in the middle of the rasa dance with gopis, he just disappeared from them. And they went searching after him, trying to find him. So, in this way he is most renounced. So he is the protector of his pure devotees. Srila Prabhupada left India at a very old age. It was his first time out of India, crossing the ocean on a cargo ship. when he stepped off the boat in the Boston harbor, Prabhupada said, I didn't know if to go this way or that way. But he had full faith in Krishna, that Krishna will protect him and Krishna will give him direction. And in a small amount of time, he spread Krishna consciousness all around the world. When he came off the boat, he had no money. So he had a few rupees, which is, in America, is worthless. You can't buy anything. But he said he had like maybe 6, 7 rupees. And he kept it when he went back to India after a few years. He used that rupees to travel. Get a rickshaw and you can go from one place to another. But here in America, but in America, I forget I'm in France now, that money was useless. But he was completely dependent on Krishna for everything, and Krishna protected him. So, although God is equally disposed to everyone, he is especially inclined to his devotees. He's maintaining everyone. The Vedas say, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Yo Bahunam Vidalati Kamam. Out of all the eternals, this one eternal, Krishna, we are also eternal, because we come from Krishna, part of Krishna, but he is maintaining all of us, maintaining everyone, the animals, everyone is being maintained by him. But here, he is especially inclined to his devotees. Those who have devoted their lives to him, then he is especially inclined towards them. But he's also maintaining everyone else. Sat means the absolute truth. And persons who are servitors of the absolute truth are called sattvatas, pure devotees. Sattvatas, in the verse, sattvatam, Bhagavan sattvatam bhati. He is those who are his devoted servants, he protects them. He's especially inclined to them. And the personality of Godhead who protects such pure devotees is known as the protector of the sattvatas. Badram te, or blessings upon you, indicates that the sages, these are the sages of Naimisharanya, it indicates the sages' anxiety to know the absolute truth from the speaker, Sutta Goswami. The Bhagavatam was the first time it was spoken, recited, It was Shukadeva Goswami, and he was speaking to the king, Raj Parikshit. And there were many sages and saintly persons gathered on the banks of the Ganges. Sutta Goswami was there. And so he heard Bhagavatam when it was first spoken. Then sometime later, there was a gathering of saintly persons in the forest of Naimisharanya. And they knew, the sages knew that Sutta Goswami was present when Shukadeva Goswami spoke the Bhagavatam. And so now they were very anxious to hear what did Sutta Goswami heard, what did he learn from Shukadeva Goswami. Because they knew he is a qualified person, and he has heard from the qualified person. This is called Guru Parampara. We are connected to an illustrious chain of spiritual masters. The knowledge is passed down, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Evam parampara praptam. This is how the knowledge is transmitted. But as Prabhupada would say, one who hears nicely, he can repeat nicely. So, Shravanam, Kirtanam. If one engages in hearing and chanting nicely, means sincerely, then it is possible to remember Krishna. Smaranam. When it says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam. So that is our process. We come and hear, sit and hear and chant. We keep doing this, then remembrance of Krishna will come naturally. And we want to remember Krishna all the time. Therefore Mahaprabhu said, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. You should always be chanting, always hearing and chanting about Krishna. And if one does that sufficiently, properly, then at the time of death, which is a very difficult time, one can remember Krishna. One can think of Krishna. Usually the time of death is a very distressful time of leaving the body. All the organs began to fail. The body begins to shut down. So it's very difficult. But it is possible to think of Krishna at that time, if one has practiced. So that's what we are doing here. We are practicing to hear and chant about Krishna. And they say practice makes perfect, right? You practice properly, sufficiently, then perfection will be you'll remember Krishna. Ante Narayana Smriti, one can remember Narayana or Krishna at the end. That means one has passed the test. We can remember Krishna at the time of death. Then Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam. You'll come to me. You'll come to me. Whatever one thinks of at the time of death, he attains to that state. And we have so many things that we think about. Think about family members, we think about pets. Many people have dogs as pets, or cats as pets, or horses, or something. So their minds, because they're absorbed in that, they'll think about that. But if one is practice hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, then one can remember. In this time, so many 1,000 years ago, people had such good memory that once hearing from the spiritual masses, they could remember it for life. At that time, there were no books. Like today, we have books. But when Bhagavatam was spoken, there were no books. So the students, the disciples, would hear with full attention, and they could remember it for the rest of their life. So these sages in Naimisharanya, they're offering blessings to Sutta Goswami because they want to know, what does he remember? What did he hear when Sukadeva Goswami spoke it to the king? They knew that he was there, and so they're interested to hear what he has to say. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, we are not interested in hearing from any and everybody. We are only interested in hearing from pure devotee. What they have to say, that is beneficial for us. And Prabhupada has so kindly given us these wonderful books, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna book, Ishopanishad. We have enough subject matter to fill our minds with. And it's pure knowledge. It's not, it's coming down. How this knowledge is coming down is in the parampara. And so that knowledge is perfect and pure. We are lucky to be connected with this sampradaya, this movement. Gaudiya Sampradaya means coming down, passing through Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya has shed light on the Vedic knowledge, and his followers continue to shed light enlightened. What is Vedic? What is the Vedas? What is the purpose of the Vedas? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. The purpose of studying Vedas is to know me, Krishna is saying. But there are many people who are studying Vedas and they don't know who's Krishna. But someone who has heard from bona fide spiritual master, then he can know. So, by us hearing what we're doing here, reading and hearing, we're getting real knowledge. It is said you have to listen to learn, but it's also said you have to learn how to listen. You have to learn how to listen. So, submissive hearing, this is how we learn. So these sages here, they want to hear from Sutta Goswami. They know that he knows, he has perfect knowledge because he heard from Shukadeva Goswami. And so they're eager to hear from him. And they want to, who they want to hear, what they want to hear about. They want to hear about Krishna. It says here, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared to Devaki and Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the symbol of the transcendental position wherein the appearance of the Supreme Lord takes place. So he chooses who he will appear with. And these sages, they want to know all about Krishna. They want to know about God. Many people in the world will talk and say, oh, I believe in God. But when you speak with them and you inquire, what can you tell me about God? There's not much they can say. But we can say so many things about God. We know what is his name, Krishna, and he has many names, and what he looks like. This knowledge is available. Sometimes we meet people from other religions and they'll say, why you believe in this Hindu god Krishna? And I tell them, God is not Hindu, God is not Christian. God means the Supreme Being. He's God for everyone. He's not just for the Hindus or the Muslims or the Christians. God means He's for everyone. As we said earlier, He's equally disposed to everyone. Everyone is dependent on Him. Everyone. animals are dependent on it. Who is feeding the elephants? There is no organization for feeding the elephants. And the elephants, there are thousands of elephants in the jungles in Africa and Asia. Who is feeding them? And they require so much food. Krishna is feeding them. And if we think, oh, Krishna is feeding everything, he won't feed me? He won't feed his devotee? Of course. Prabhupada would say, Krishna is feeding us, and devotees are also feeding others. We distribute prasadam. Because Krishna is not a poor man. Sometimes people say, oh, the population of the earth, there's too many people, overpopulation. But that is a myth, it's not true. Prabhupada said this planet could feed more than 10 times the population that we have. Because there's so much vacant land lying everywhere you go. Here in France, there's so much vacant land. And if one is intelligent, he can grow food in the land. A little piece of land, a little piece of land as big as this temple room, which is not big at all. You can get more food to feed more than all the devotees. What to speak? But the leaders of the different governments, their brains are, you could say, devilish brains. They don't understand this. And so people in general have no idea. They don't think that, yes, God is providing everything. It's miraculous. In the same earth, ground, so many varieties of food can come. You can grow a row of tomatoes here, a row of potatoes, a row of cauliflower. All of these things coming out with different tastes and flavors from this earth. So, behind everything is Krishna. And we the more we hear, the more we know about Krishna, the more we can develop love for Krishna. That is our goal. We want to develop love for Krishna. As it is, we have no love. We have no love for Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, he said like this, he said, because some Brahmin said, you are such a, they were praising Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they said, you are such a great devotee. And Mahaprabhu said, no, I am not. I have no love for Krishna. He said, if I had any love for Krishna, Krishna is gone and I'm still here. If I had love for Krishna, I would have died long ago. They said, oh, but we see you are always crying when you're chanting. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, that is just to make a show. But actually I have no love for Krishna. So we should think about this. How much love do we really have? We've trying to dedicating our lives to serve Krishna. And some people just seeing us, knowing that that's what we're doing, they become upset and envious because they don't have any knowledge about God. But because we are hearing from a pure devotee, we are convinced, yes, God is a person. He has personality. And we are persons too. We have likes and dislikes. Similarly, God has that too. He's what do you call it? Prahlad Maharaj says, he's our dearmost friend. He's a friend of everyone. Although people don't treat him like that, but he is a friend of everyone. Maintaining everyone. So, in the next verse you will hear, the sages will express very clearly, they said, we are very much eager to hear from you. We want to know. And we, all of us, we should want to know more and more about Krishna. Our minds should be absorbed. All the knowledge can be summarized in one sentence. Always remember Krishna and never forget him. So we are trying to do that. And as we make progress in Krishna consciousness, it becomes easier to think of Krishna. The pure devotees, they cannot think about it. They can't help but think of Krishna. Their lives are completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And we can study their examples. In these books you hear about so many different devotees, different grades of devotees. And close to us we can hear about Srila Prabhupada, how devoted he was. By his devotion, by the example of his devotion, we became convinced, yes, Krishna is God. So when we get the opportunity to hear from pure devotees, our knowledge about Krishna can increase, and our love for Krishna will develop. So, does anyone have any questions? Okay.
You talk at the beginning of the class, the goal of the Veda is to know about Krishna.
Yeah.
But why all the Veda don't talk about Krishna, and why in the Veda there is like other knowledge who talk like Shiva is God, the Supreme Personality of God, or so many different versions. But the goal of the Veda is to know Krishna, but they don't talk precisely all about Krishna.
Vedas contains knowledge for everyone, all classes of men. So for those who are in the mode of ignorance, they are also given knowledge. Those who are in the mode of passion, they are given knowledge. And those who are in the mode of goodness, they are given knowledge. So, Krishna is he knows the Vedas. He said the Vedas come from him. And the purpose of the Vedas is to know him. But people get sidetracked by the different branches of knowledge. That is called karma kanda, right? Karma kanda means how to make progress in the material world. So if you want this, you worship this demigod. If you want that, you worship that demigod. All these, varieties of advices are given. But the conclusion of the Vedas is Krishna. That's why Krishna told Arjuna in the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, he told Arjuna, just surrender. Sarva dharmam parityaja. He said, all this other knowledge that's in Vedas, Sarva dharma, all this, he said, you can forget about all of that and just surrender unto me. And we see that today practically there's so many people who are followers of the Vedas, but the Vedas is a vast body of knowledge, literature. If we approach it by ourselves, on our own, we'll just get bewildered, like a jungle of sounds. But when you take shelter of someone who knows the Vedas, knows the conclusion of the Vedas, then you can avoid all that. Like Prabhupada didn't teach us karma kanda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't teach us karma kanda. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught is known as Ananda Kanda. Ananda Kanda, very joyful, happy, and pure. So we skip all that other, karma kanda knowledge. By the grace of a devotee like Prabhupada, our lives are so short as it is, to try to learn all of that, karma-kandic knowledge, life is too short. In Kali Yuga, at most, somebody lives to be 100. Really, most people don't even make it to 100. 60, 70, and you know. So time is tight, time is short. Therefore, when we understand this much, my time here is limited. Therefore, I should use my time to hear about Krishna. Krishna said, as far as all these demigods and stuff, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the source of all of them. Aham Adi Devana. So, there is only one Supreme God, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All the other demigods, we call them demigods, Shiva, Brahma, Indra, so on. They are subordinate. They are subordinate. All of them are subordinate to Krishna. So, okay. Yes?
So you were talking about how they had great memories, but now it's reduced, that's the fact, especially with old age. But I was thinking, there was thousands of sages. How could they all hear, one person speaking, 2,000, without a mic, without a loudspeaker?
You think we need all this technology? We can do without this technology.
We can use?
We can do without it.
Well, even with technology, it's hard to hear sometimes. I got
Right.
little frets, and the ear things and the mics, and sometimes it's even...
No, those sages, it is said in the Bhagavatam that when they heard Shukadeva Goswami speaking, he spoke the whole Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days, non-stop. No one stopped for eating or drinking or sleeping or anything. They heard with rapt attention because the subject matter was so uplifting. We, after half an hour, we want to go somewhere and do something else. We don't have a taste. But as our taste for hearing increases, then we know we are making progress. So, with all the sages present, the atmosphere was such, you could hear a pin drop. They were listening with rapt attention. They knew Shukadeva Goswami. Who is he? He is the son of Vyasadeva, who compiled all the Vedas. So they know they want to hear from him. They're really eager to hear. If we can develop a little attraction for hearing, that'll be good for us. Wherever Prabhupada was, whenever he traveled, he always would speak, give classes on Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the devotees were eager to hear. So, Prabhupada's gone now, but that hearing can continue, should continue. We should continue to be eager to hear from these books. And Prabhupada even instructed that we should try to distribute these books to others so they can hear too. If we can give our attention, if we can give our ear to this knowledge, then that is the best. Our benefit is, you cannot calculate how much we are benefiting. Anyone else? You have another one.
So we want to think about Krishna, at the time of death and before, of course. But what about if we think more equally about, let me get out of this horrible place, material world. So at the time of death, we think more about, let me get out of here instead of, do we go?
The only reason we can say this horrible place is because we have heard. People not think everybody thinks so? No. One time I was in Laguna Beach, California, and I was speaking, and some young people were there, and I was saying how this material world is a place of suffering. It's not a place of enjoyment. And I said, this is not our home. And one young man said to me, why do you make it sound so bad? He said, it's not so bad. And I realized, because he was living in a nice place, Laguna Beach, Southern California. Everything is beautiful, nice, sunny. I said, for you it is like this, but how long will it last? You know? Krishna also says the same thing. He says, and he tells us, yes, it is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It is miserable, full of suffering. And if you say, well, I like it, he says, but it is ashashvatam, it is temporary. You cannot hold on to it. You may accumulate, you may work hard and accumulate so much money and build a big house, but then death comes and you have to leave it all behind. You can't take it with you. This is the reality, but people don't think. They are poor in their thoughts. You can think now that this is a miserable place, I should try to get out of here. Yes, it is. We shouldn't, this is not our home. Wherever you go in the material world, from Krishna says, he told Arjuna, Brahma Bhuvana Loka, from the highest planet in the universe, Brahma Loka, down to the lowest planet, all the places of misery where repeated birth and death takes place. So that is Krishna's opinion. It's not, if you're intelligent, you'll say, well then where can I go and I don't have to experience, between birth and death, there is so many diseases and old age. So it is a place of misery. But we sometimes are so foolish, we take suffering as enjoyment. But it's not. All right, I think we've used up all the time. Thank you all for listening patiently. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam.